Hello and welcome, it's Chris from Christopher Hall Training, and welcome to this, what I guess you could call opinion post, where I just share an opinion that I have. At the moment, I'm currently writing a healthy eating online course. At the moment, there are about 19 lessons. As I'm writing it, that's changing because some of the lessons combine into other lessons and some bits separate depending on the length of it, trying to keep it as simple and concise as possible, using as much practical information as possible. So again, like all my other courses, they aren't just information and content. It's a workshop that you work along with. Yes, there are lessons that will just involve sitting and listening, but the whole idea and structure of it is that you understand how to build a healthy diet or a healthy way of eating, which is exactly what I'm just writing about at the moment, which is what is a diet. It comes from the Greek word diaeta, I think, meaning a way of life. So to put that into context, I describe it as the way you eat, which can be made up of anything and done in any way, which then gives you options with regards to your diet. So that's where I am at the moment. I've done 2 previous lessons. This is the 3rd lesson. So I've done that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was all these celebrities now doing home fitness workouts and sessions. On one hand, it's great. People are active. That's good. People are engaging in some sort of social contact. People are gaining some sort of structure to the day, i.e. a time and a place to do something other than sit and watch TV or just sort of be around the same people in the same rooms. So from that perspective, big thumbs up, keep doing it. More people doing it, the better. What we then have to discuss is how much the public buys into them being some sort of expert. Because, again, from my experience of teaching fitness and qualifying trainers to come into the industry, a lot of it is made up of people that just like to do exercise. A lot of them don't want a great deal of expertise. They like the name personal trainer, they like being called personal trainer, or they like the idea of being a personal trainer. The fitness industry has some sort of attractive nature to it, possibly from how it's been promoted on social media. But again, most of the people on there that are promoting it are just people that like exercise. They probably look the way they look, not just because of exercise. So there's a lot of nuances, I guess, into my opinion on this, because again, HIIT training isn't for everyone and shouldn't be done by everyone. Certainly by beginners, albeit their high intensity is very different to someone who's experienced high intensity. So you've got the high intensity nature of it, which is subjective because it's different for everyone. But then you've got the exercises that are included within those high intensity workouts. And a lot of the exercises can involve some sort of jumping or bounding nature to it, which is basically the foot hitting the floor at some sort of impact, be it from a jump or whatever. So beginners generally don't have the joint integrity to be able to cope with a workout like that. And what that basically means is eventually they're going to get an ache or a pain, which is then going to eventually slow them down and potentially stop them doing the exercise. And then whenever they come back, that ache or pain or injury is going to show itself. That's going to create a frustration. They will then, if they become more or have a greater expertise at exercise. So if they go from, say, a beginner to an intermediate and then to an advanced, they're going to do the normal thing and try and push through the ache, the pain, the injury, because they think no pain, no gain, blah, blah, blah. So that's not necessarily a useful mindset to have, but it's how they begin the exercise which starts them with that. My thinking on it is you train a beginner like a beginner. You build not only cardiovascular capacity, which is the ability for them to do harder and harder workouts, but you've got to build their joint integrity, the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, the other tissues around the joint, the ability to perform the movement correctly or the exercise correctly. Now, the latter, building the joint integrity and building the sort of the skill set and ability to do the movement, that is going to come at the detriment to a cardiovascular intensity. So you've got to be able to do that, you've got to tone down the intensity because they've got to learn how to do the exercise correctly. So you find that that beginners need to be trained in a certain way, and HIIT training isn't necessarily the best, although it's touted in the media, not just by celebrities, but in the media, as the thing to do to be able to, lose body fat and this, that, and the other. But again, losing body fat doesn't always require exercise. It's helpful, but diet is more important than exercise when it comes to losing weight or losing body fat. So it's very much being sensible with the exercises that you're doing, but also knowing that if you go too hard too soon, you're going to get an ache and a pain. If you're happy with that, then carry on. But if you want to go through exercise without or with a minimized risk of aches and pains, then you're more useful going through simple exercises, developing your movement capacity or movement skill set, exercise technique and things like that. You're better off doing that and then building forwards from that rather than just jumping straight in at the deep end, which you generally then find people jump straight out of the deep end and then they tend to not jump back in. So it's much wiser to just walk in at the shallow end, test the water, test the depth, get used to it, go to the sort of the middle part of the pool, and then the deep end. It's just unfortunate at the moment that when we get celebrities and low expertise people who just like doing exercise, training people to do exercise, that's the message they get, is to jump in at the deep end of the pool, have jump around, it's all good fun, which is fine, but it's gonna end in ache, pain, possibly not enjoying exercise again. So I've repeated myself a few times there. So I guess that's me coming to the end of this little opinion post. So yes, if you are a beginner doing exercise, be sensible. If you want to get in contact with me. Pop a comment in the box below this. We can sort something out with regards to an exercise program that will be more effective for you. It might not be as exciting as a HIIT training session, but you will come out the other side of it with a minimized risk of injury, a more resilient body to be able to cope with then the HIIT training that these people, that they've been doing for a long time, that they're doing. So yeah, thanks for watching. It's coming up to 10 minutes, so I'm going to be quiet. So I'll speak to you in the next one.